Hi, my name is Greg Wines and I'm Chief Catalyst for Healthy Growing Churches. I can do a couple things in the next 3 minutes, and that's first tell you what is Healthy Growing Churches, and second of all, how can this website help to meet some of your needs. First of all, Healthy Growing Churches is a network of networks that's committed to expanding the kingdom of God through building into leaders and churches by which we can see people come to know Jesus, people grow up and become more like Jesus, and lastly, that we can see the presence of Christ manifested in the community in which either the leader or the church finds itself. Now, how do we do that? We do that through a lot of different ways. Actually, it's 3 ways specifically. The first one is we help existing churches turn around, turn toward mission. We know that about 93% of churches here in America are plateaued or declining and are struggling to figure out how do we transform this community for Jesus Christ? How do we transform people for Jesus Christ? And so one of the things that we have a lot of history in is how helping turn those churches toward the mission which Christ called that church, or for which Christ called that church. And so we do that in what we call our transformation ministry. So the first ministry we do is turn around existing churches, and that's in transformation. Second way we do that is through what we call multiplication. It's helping existing churches multiply, help them multiply campuses, services, small groups, leaders, even planting new churches. How do we help existing churches multiply? We do that through working with existing churches, through starting brand new churches, and so forth. So it's transformation, it's multiplication. And the third way we do that is through building leaders to do those first 2 things. It became very obvious to us 7 or 8 years ago when we began Healthy Growing Churches that one of the linchpins was the leadership. How do we train leaders? How do we find leaders who have the ability, the capacity to multiply, to transform churches? And so we began working diligently in this leadership development component of building leaders who can transform churches and building leaders who can multiply churches. And so we do that in a lot of different ways. All 3 of these venues that we specialize in, we do that in a lot of ways. And in this website, you'll find some of those ways we do that. One of the ways we do with transformation is we do consultations with churches. We help come in and help study churches. But we believe that every church is unique, and so the way that we help Church A turn around is going to look differently from Church B. And in fact, in this website, you'll find there's a number of videos that talk about examples of churches that we've worked with over the last few years and some of the changes we've seen in those churches. So I would encourage you to look at that. We're now involved in about 34 states, about 16 different countries. So watch some of those videos that give examples of how we've transformed existing congregations through consultations. Sometimes we do what we call leadership consultation with large churches over 1,000. We help them assess all their staff using a battery of assessments, and then figure out how to get the right people on the bus and how to get them in the right seats on the bus, which is very helpful for large congregations, because we find one of the lids in larger congregations is often staffing. So we transform churches in a lot of ways. We multiply churches in a lot of ways. We have what we call cultivating congregations, where we work with existing congregations. We work with church plants. We work with judicatories, denominational entities, and help them turn around and help them figure out how to plant churches. Through leadership development, the third venue, we do that in a number of ways, and you'll find that on the website. We do assessments. We have a leadership network that we put together every spring, winter, spring of the year, and it's where we bring 150 people or so. We cap registration at 150 because we want it to be a networking environment, and we bring in some phenomenal resource thinkers, speakers, and we bring them into small group environments where we can network together, our network of networks, and figure out how we can be better leaders at doing what God's called us to do. So I want to ask you just to peruse this website, look at the number of videos you'll see throughout the website. We have a newsletter you can sign up for. Look at our leadership team, they're highlighted on here. We have a phenomenal network of people who provide the services, like coaches and trainers and consultants and so forth, that are not listed on this website. It's a broad network across many denominations. And we've been excited because God continues to open doors for us. And I would pray that He would have you look and see, is there a way we can serve you through some of the ministries that we offer. Thank you very much.